Well, good afternoon on a bitter cold Kansas City day. This is your friend and pastor Hayton with another Lord Lights Devotional. Recalling tidbits from the life of my father, Arthur Lloyd Hayton. Been gone now for over 30 years, I guess, and just so thankful today for the heritage that he left me. And I know today that God has blessed me because of blessing him. You know, we preachers sometimes get asked, how do you know when it's time to go to another church? Well, one surefire way of knowing, if you get voted out, it's time to go. But other than that, how do you know? Well, we just know because the Holy Spirit leads. My dad was pastoring in a certain place and had a comfortable pastorate there, but the Lord let him know that it was time for him to go to another field of labor. And as he was praying, the Lord said something about Mexico, Missouri. Well, Dad was always ready to do God's will. The only thing is, Mexico, Missouri had not called him to be their pastor. But Dad felt such a strong leading to Mexico, Missouri. Well, finally he found out that they did need a pastor, and they invited him down to preach. His heart sank when he drove up in front of the church there in Mexico. It's an old cement block building that was literally coming apart, sitting down between the shoe factory and the stockyards in that little farm town of Mexico. The pews were very crude, homemade pews, painted white and brown. Not very impressive at all. Oh yes, it would not be a pastor's dream church, that's to be sure. But my dad still felt like the Lord said Mexico, Missouri. He preached a trial sermon. He went back to his home in Kirksville and waited for Mexico to call. The time went on. The weeks flew by. Dad turned down several other churches that had heard of his availability, and I think 3 or 4 other churches had called Dad to come be their pastor. But my dad was still feeling that God wanted him to go to a place called Mexico, Missouri. Well, finally the church did call him, and he did make his preparation to go. Tell you, it was a tight schedule. Fact of the matter is, they waited until Dad just had to get out of the parsonage at Kirksville. And as he was moving out to go to Mexico, another pastor was moving in, directly as Dad was moving his stuff out. That's how close it was to the church finally getting around to calling Dad to come and pastor. But I'm going to continue on with this tomorrow because it's too much to talk about today. But like I say, that church there wouldn't have been his pick. Wouldn't have been the one that he would have chosen had it been left up to him. But God knew what he was doing. And tomorrow we'll carry on just to convince you that God knew what he was doing. When he held my dad to the fire, you're going to go to Mexico, Missouri. May God bless his memory, and I trust that the story that we share with you tomorrow, concluding this, will inspire us to know that God always knows what he's doing. So I'll see you tomorrow here on Lord Lights Devotional. Goodbye now.